Head trader for True Trading Group. Today is September 18th. We are going to be discussing trading Workhorse, WKHS. This stock is in short squeeze mode. Just over 20% of the float on this stock is short, and we are squeezing to new all-time highs seemingly day after day after day. Really nice trade on this stock today. Got in at 28.70. We're up $31 now after hours. I took the bulk of my position off the table already. $30.80 was my last take profit on the day. I'm still long a piece of that 28.70 position, seeing if we can really open up and give us that short squeeze move up into the mid 30s. As the stock can kind of get a little parabolic. I'm seeing if maybe next week we get a little bit more of an open up move. Today was a big down day in the overall markets. I'm actually disappointed with the way that I traded the SPY today, because I also did trade the SPY earlier today and actually got stopped out or shaken out of put options early in the morning, as I just could not hold through this bounce back. I went ahead and I bought put options right in here, and on this first push through and on this second push through, I just could not stay in that trade. I ended up getting stopped out of put options, which really frustrates me because my analysis today was correct and it was spot on. My execution was just poor, and you can see we had this huge sell off in the SPY today, and I'm really upset that I wasn't able to capitalize on that. If I was able to stay in those puts, this would have been, just an absolute monster of a day. Still a good week. This Workhorse trade kind of makes the sting on that SPY trade hurt a little less. But obviously that could have been a monster trade, and I missed out on it because I got shaken out of it. So I'm going to recap the SPY trades for you also towards the back end of this video, but we're going to focus on WKHS here first. And we're going to talk about the setup, and we're going to talk about why I was so confident that we were going to get up into the 30s here today. And I got in this stock just shortly after the open, right around 9:48 a.m. Eastern time was my entry on WKHS. I'll show you guys my trade alerts. Before I get into the actual trade breakdown on WKHS and tell you what I think the stock is going to do next week, I want to make sure for those of you that are interested in trying out True Trading Group, we can join our 7-day trial. You can try us out, trade with me live for free. It's $3, not for free. It's $3, a cup of coffee. Okay. You guys can trade with me live in chat. You guys can get access to 3 courses that are also included with that trial membership, and also see all of our trade history. It's just a one-time payment of $3. You guys can click on a link in the description below or visit www.ttgthree.com, and you can try TTG for a 7-day trial for just $3. All right, now let's get into this trade on WKHS. Now, I've been talking about WKHS since mid-August on the YouTube channel. Okay, we had formed a real nice tight bullish pennant, bullish wedge, whatever you guys want to call it, bull flag, bull pennant. Like I said, whatever you want to call this, we formed this real nice pattern that, as you guys can see here on the daily chart. Okay, you had this massive squeeze move in June, then you had this real nice consolidation, and during this consolidation you had 20% of the float on this stock is short. Once the stock had broken out of that little pennant pattern, the squeeze has begun. Now, volume is starting to pick up on WKHS, but I still think this stock has more room to open up. Okay, 20% of the float being short is a significant amount. Okay, that is a significant amount. And what I'm seeing here on WKHS, yes, we're climbing higher, but today's the first day that the stock really started to open up. As you can see, if I take you guys to like a 15-minute chart, you can see that this move has been very methodical. Okay, it's been just a slow stair-step move higher. We have not gotten like that parabolic panic squeeze yet. All right, and that's why today, when we were gapping above this little flat top resistance area, I'll take you guys to the 3-minute chart so you can see. Okay, we had this resistance level, okay, right across yesterday and the prior day's highs. So as you can see here, we had very clear resistance at around 28.15. Okay, there's your little flat top, triple top resistance, prior all-time high, Today we gapped above that level. So today we gapped above that level, and as I zoom in, you see we gapped above it, pulled in, tested it, and held that prior that prior resistance. Tested it, held, became support. So that support level was strong enough to, once it was tested, to push the stock right through to a new high of the day. That's when I went ahead and I got long on the first pullback off the new high, 28.70. I'll take you guys to my trade alerts on the day. You'll see here at 9:48 a.m. I'm long WKHS at 28.70, stop loss around the $28 zone. Okay, so there's my entry point right there on WKHS after this $28 level held. And you can see we got a really nice continuation move late in the day. And I just started peeling profits off the table on this trade as it started to unfold. 29.23 was my first take profit. 29.81 was my second take profit. And then right before the close at 3:55, $30.80, okay, was another take profit, okay, right there, right before the bell at $30.80. And I'm still long a piece of this position, looking for us to get up maybe to 32, 33, maybe even 35 next week. And again, this goes back to the fact that I have not yet seen that a panic squeeze. This was what a panic squeeze looks like. You guys can see just massive, incredible volume. You see how the stock gaps up and gets these big wide range candles, and the move higher is very parabolic and it's very violent. It's very volatile. We have not had a violent, volatile move yet to the upside. Okay, today honestly was like the first day where we had this clean gap up and extension. All of these other trading days in here, we had, gap downs, red to green moves, okay, consolidation, but we have not yet had that panic type squeeze. And that's why coming into the day today with that gap up, I said to everybody in the chat, I go, guys, listen, this $28 holds. I think we can see $30 today. That was exactly what we had discussed there in chat. That was the game plan. Once 28 held, we're able to jump in there in front of 28 and ride this trade. Okay. Like, here's examples. Here you guys can see yesterday we gapped down, red to green move. The day before we gapped down, red to green move. Okay. So you're seeing here's another day on the 15th, another gap down, and the stock is pushing higher, pushing higher, pushing higher. But we have not yet had that extension gap up, like that exhaustion gap up, which typically can signal the end of a short squeeze type move when you get that exhaustion gap type play. I'm expecting that type of action next week. That's why I'm still long a piece of this position. Now, it's a small piece, okay, considering that I've already taken profits off a couple times here today. So next week, I will look for an opportunity to add back to this position. Somewhere around $30, $29.75 could be an area for me to add back to the position if we don't get that exhaustion gap up type move on Monday. If we get that move on Monday, I'll be getting flat the last piece of my position Monday. If we get a little pullback Monday, I'm looking for $29.75 to the $30 area to hold support for me to then add back to my position and see if I can get some follow through action, and get that real momentum based squeeze as the last of this short position gets itself squeezed out. Okay. So that's that WKHS trade, guys. It was a real beauty today. It makes my loss getting shaken out of those SPY puts, it makes that sting a lot less, because I was able to trade this stock very well. The stock is extremely thick. The volume is very high. I can get a real nice size position, and I was able to pull a nice chunk out, of this trade. And now I'll take you guys back to the SPY, and we'll just recap that trade there. Yesterday we tested that 50-day moving average and it held. Okay. Yesterday we tested the 50-day and it held, but then we came into the day today and we immediately dropped right back down to that level. Okay. We immediately dropped right back down to that level. So I had said to myself yesterday, we held this level. Okay. We held the 50-day moving average beautifully yesterday. So coming into the day today, the fact that right off the open, here's the open, we dropped right back down to that level. I read that as a real clear sign of weakness. The fact that there was no buying pressure whatsoever off the open in front of that 50-day moving average. And I said to people that I think that that's a really sign of weakness. I'm going to come in on this bounce, and I'm looking to buy put options, on this bounce. And what I did was I waited for the stock to bounce back up to that 38.2 Fibonacci level and also the trade line. Take you guys here. I bought the 332 Monday expiration puts at $1.75. and I just got shaken out of this thing. I just got shaken out as the markets climbed higher, pushed through VWAP, pushed through the trade line, pushed through the 38.2 fib, pushed through the 50 fib, and it just pushed right through my stop loss, and I had to just be prudent and exit my position and stay within my risk tolerance. And unfortunately, I got shaken out of that trade, which is very, very frustrating because then, like 20 or 30 minutes after I exit the trade, the stock or the SPY rolls over and makes a new low. And this could have been just an absolute monster of a trade. And I just got shaken out by about 20 or 30 minutes, which really ended up really frustrating me on the day. And I'm disappointed with myself. Um, I feel like I could have traded this a lot better, but that bounce back was tough. That was a much bigger bounce back than I was expecting after that morning drop right down into that level. That was a bigger bounce than I was expected. I got shaken out, and it got me. That one got me today, so I had to just kind of tip my hat to the SPY on that one and say you got me. So, poor execution on that. The analysis was correct, but the execution was poor. But WKHS makes it sting a lot less. Okay, so again, WKHS is on watch here for me going into next week. Congrats to those TTG members that caught that WKHS trade with me. Let's see if we can get that short squeeze that really opens up and we get real volatile and we can get some extension. All right, have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you guys in chat Monday. Later.